In business, our ability to focus is one of the single most important skills that we can develop, because when we can concentrate and focus on a particular task, we're going to be so much more productive and we're going to get so much more done as a result of that. And so a lot of us, especially in business and entrepreneurship, will make these 4 mistakes which seriously hinder our ability to focus, and I'm going to cover what those are in this video. And by the way, as you're watching this, if you like this or if you have a perspective to share, then please like and comment below. A lot of people get a lot of value from the comments on these videos, so do comment below if you have something to share, and also don't forget to hit subscribe as well if you do enjoy what we talk about, because I do 3 videos per week every single week around these sorts of topics in online business as well. Now, when we're talking about how to stay focused, a really good way to picture and imagine focus is think of it like a magnifying glass, right? A magnifying glass in the sun. And what a lot of us will do is we'll be so distracted that we're not intensely focusing on one task for long enough to really, start the fire and to start to create that result and create that momentum. Because if you imagine focus like a magnifying glass, you can start to see why multitasking or task switching or getting distracted is such a detriment to what we ultimately end up achieving, right? If you took the magnifying glass away, then you've just undone everything that you started doing by heating up what it is that you're heating up with that intentional focus. It takes time to really start that fire burning and start that momentum. Focus is no different. And so the first area that a lot of us fall down when it comes to focus is multitasking. Now, multitasking in business and entrepreneurship is a myth. It is not the most effective way by any means, or even an effective way to operate. Because what happens when we're multitasking is human beings can't focus on 2 things at once. Right? We cannot simultaneously put our intentional focus into 2 things. We can switch between them, but we can't simultaneously focus on 2 things at once. It's one or the other. And so what multitasking does is it puts a huge mental load on ourselves where we've got to constantly bounce between 2 or more areas of focus. And each time we've got to shift that focus, it's like a locomotive train screeching to a halt and then starting up again in a new direction. Our minds have to go through a bit of a realignment process to change our thinking to focus on a new task, especially if we're using different like left brain or right brain thinking. It's quite an intensive focus. There's a lot of mental load in task switching. And so what multitasking does is it just rapidly depletes our ability to focus. And so if in any part of your day you find yourself just bouncing between multiple tasks at once, we've got to stop doing that. And the way to do that is number 2, which is making sure that we are scheduling in and blocking out periods of time for intentional focus on our high priority tasks. Because when you can plan your time effectively and make sure that you're, putting that intentional focus into the high impact stuff that we need to do to move us towards our goals and our vision, we're going to be making sure that we're not multitasking and bouncing between different tasks, and it will reduce our mental load, and it will also increase the intensity with which we are focusing on that one task. And again, if you go back to the magnifying glass in the sun analogy, the longer that you've got that intense focus on that one task with no distractions, the more that fire is going to start to burn, right? But it does take that intentional focus. And it also, number 3, it requires us to remove distractions. So when we're blocking out that one piece of time and we're removing distractions by putting our phone in airplane mode, turning off email notifications on our laptops, turning off social media notifications, get rid of all distractions. And when you plan your time as well, it's going to enable us to really put that intentional focus in and start that fire burning. And then finally, number 4 is we've got to conserve our willpower. Now, there's something that happens whenever we make decisions called decision fatigue. And the way decision fatigue works is that every single time we have to make a conscious choice, a conscious decision, it depletes our energy, our mental energy. And willpower and decision making, it's all part of the same mechanism, which is fueled by glucose in our brains. And every single time we use that resource to make decisions or to shift between tasks, it's ultimately depleting our ability to focus on one thing. Right? So if we can recognize that this is happening and think of our resource in our minds, think of it like a battery. Over time, like the quicker you're, or the more distracted you are, the more you're making decisions on things that don't matter, the more that battery is going to deplete. And once that battery is depleted, until we sleep, have a break, rest, eat, refuel, we're not going to be able to focus effectively. Right? So we've got to conserve that, and we've got to make sure that we are using that resource on the stuff that matters. So what I tend to find that my optimum time is, generally speaking, in the mornings. As it gets to afternoon, I'm starting to flag quite a bit, and I will find I find it more difficult to focus on high impact tasks. So I'll often block out time in the morning to focus on the stuff that really matters, and then I'll do, less important stuff as the day goes on. That's just the way that I tend to work. But if you can recognize that these 4 things, so multitasking, don't do it. Plan your time effectively. Remove distractions, so turn off your phone, put it in airplane mode, remove notifications, and recognize that decision fatigue or conserving our willpower, conserving our mental resources is important. And so certainly put your focus and attention in the high impact stuff at the start of the day. And if you do those 4 things, again, think of the magnifying glass analogy, you're going to find that fire is going to start burning on the stuff that really matters. And that's when we're going to move forwards leaps and bounds in our results in business. All right, so thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and if you got something from it, please hit like. Please also comment below if you do have other things to add to the conversation, maybe other things that have helped you with focus as well, because a lot of people do get value from the comments below. And finally, if you've enjoyed it, please hit subscribe. You'll see that in the bottom corner right now. Once you've hit subscribe, hit the little notification bell, and you'll get an alert every time a new video goes live. I do 3 of these per week. So if you've enjoyed it, hit subscribe now. Thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.